Welcome to Healing is Hilarious. I'm your host, Rachel LaForce. This is a podcast where personal development meets punchlines. Each week, I'm offering you my own lived experience and diving into topics like self-empowerment, authentic living, and learning how to listen to your inner knowing. Because after all, healing doesn't have to be heavy. It's hilarious. I almost said welcome back to the Rachel LaForce Show. She's still getting used to it. Welcome back to Healing is Hilarious. I'm your host, Rachel LaForce. She's fired up. She's fired up. Buckle in, lock in. Here we go. I am giving a TEDx Talk this week, which I know it's not a TED Talk, okay? Let's get that out of the way, because I know some people are like, it's not really that big of a deal. It's a big fucking deal. And here's why. Because the whole precipice of TEDx or TED in general is an idea worth spreading. This is the thing that I have decided, if the world gets to hear me say anything at all, here's the thing I've decided. Hope I don't fuck it up. You know what I mean? That's a decent amount of pressure. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the TEDx Talk is going to be. Obviously, when it's up, I'm going to push you there. Go watch it. Go share it. Okay? Give me some love. But what's been interesting about the process is not what's happened on the paper, not what has happened on stage, but of course, what has happened internally. You're right. It would not be Healing is Hilarious if we weren't talking about healing. This has been the most... And I'm really going to try to not cry for this episode because no one needs that. But it really does evoke that strong of an emotion for me. This has been the most cathartic experience, and it feels so good because you're here. Obviously, you're on your own healing journey. I know a lot of you are OGs. You've been with me for a while. Some of you are maybe new and being like, I don't know. I'm kind of like dipping my toe in a little bit. You know, one of you like just bought a tarot deck. You know, you're really getting in it, and it's no shade at all. I'm so happy for you. You know that we have these cyclical experiences. That's why we have full circle moments, right? Where we go, oh, everything has come full circle. And what I love about full circle moments, especially for folks who don't identify as spiritual or having a sense of a higher power or connection, is it offers you that. It offers you maybe, just maybe, there is something else at play here. And I'm someone, again, Healing is Hilarious. I don't feel like we have to over talk it. We have to over explain it. We have to sit in that, because I see so many people chasing spiritual experiences, right? Or faking them. Or I think what makes them magical is it's exactly that. It's magic. We don't have to explain it, right? And this is such a full circle moment for me. And it feels, This is so corn, okay? High cornball coming at you. It feels like a graduation. And here's what I mean by that. Well, the literal sense, you're probably like, yeah, I get it. I understand what a graduation is. But this, as many of you know, I quit drinking in 2018, which is the basis of what my TEDx Talk is, and talking about that healing journey from then to now. And every single time I've been like, oh, certainly, like now we like really know what we're doing. And then I experienced something else that's like, oh, it's really cute that I thought I knew what I was doing. And then I was like, oh my God, like now we know what we're doing, right? And then something else happens and you're like, I just went underwater again. And obviously that's the process. I'm not saying that I'm doing this talk and now I'm healed and the podcast is over and we've figured it out. We've solved it. But more as confident and as much of I've come to this space of wanting to be a teacher, of wanting to be a mirror, of wanting to be a sounding board, a messenger, a friend, is I have still attached a sense of unworthiness. I have still attached a sense of the jester and not the queen. And what I mean by that is, you know, as a comedian, obviously that's the job, right? If you're good at it, you make people laugh. But there's still very much, for a lot of comedians, that it's kind of like low status energy. And I'm sharing all this because I'm sure it's mirroring back to you what you're experiencing, your own senses of graduation. And isn't it interesting that we're experiencing this, at least in the States, where there is this actual sense of graduation time, right? I mean, obviously we're going to the beginning of June, so most people have maybe graduated, but it's still, that's kind of in the air. We're going into summer. It's long days. It's this sense of expansion that we're all feeling and experiencing. And I feel like it was for the first time where I was like, oh, I actually don't want any of that to come with me. Like delivering this talk, which is stating I am the expert on blank. You can't show up as the expert and also go, but do you like it? Is it okay? Did you like it though? It's not how it works. That's not how it works. And smart experts, the best experts, they what? Commune with other experts. They take in new information. They accept that things change. They're there because of their curiosity. Not because they're better than other people, not because they deserve to be there. Of course, those energies exist, but that's what the teacher, that's what the expert, that's what the queen, that's because queen energy also, right? If we're thinking about it literally, a queen is there and holds that sense of regal energy and theoretically because it is her duty to take care of everyone in her kingdom, to be a mirror, to stand up for, to make choices for, to decide. So that energy has to be big. It has to be expansive. It has to be secure. It has to be tethered to something bigger than herself. And that is what this energy right now, that is what your life is calling you to do. That's what God is calling you to do. That's what your community, your relationship with yourself, all of the ways in which this resonates to you specifically. Like, that lunch bell's ringing, okay? It's time to go. And perhaps you've already been feeling it, or you already know you're experiencing some sort of graduation yourself, maybe an actual graduation. Or perhaps hearing this, you're going, yes, that's what's been coming in. That's what I've been feeling. And I was not expecting that because I was still in the energy of like, oh my God, I can't believe I've been chosen. And isn't this, and it was all over again, the energy of Rachel from being in Hollywood of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm in the room. And I'm not saying that that doesn't get to exist, but it shifts to this is so fun to be in this room. I am so excited to be in this room. That's a different energy than, oh my God, I can't believe so-and-so is here. I can't believe I got to be here. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you can't believe it because you're a badass and you're good at what you do and you put your hat in the ring to be in said room. It's not an accident that when we decide, doors open. It's that simple. There's probably also going to be a lot of doors that close when we decide to. Or doors that open and we walk through and you go, oh, wrong door. But that's what this time is calling us to do. And that's really the message for all of us is like, just please, what are those things? And they're more energies that you've connected to your identity because for a while, and I'm sure you've heard me, you know, if you've been in the journey of the podcast with me for a while where I was like, oh, wow, maybe I'm supposed to be like a spiritual leader. Maybe I'm supposed to just do one-on-ones. Maybe I was experiencing all these things because I couldn't figure out how comedy specifically fell into my life because so much of the energy of my identity that was connected to comedy didn't feel relevant anymore. Well, it's not that I'm not a comedian. It's not that I don't want to still make people laugh and have them feel connected to themselves and something greater than themselves by laughing. I wanted to do it differently. I am both a queen and a comedian. I am allowed to be both. Comedy is an energy. It's a skill. It's just something I happen to be naturally very good at. That's not going away. And so it really comes down to ownership. What are the things that you're ready to own? Undeniably. Because ultimately, that's what this healing process has been for me of like, and I guess you could also really argue of like truly growing into a woman, of like there really has been this beautiful sense of blossoming, and I'm almost now in the place of curiosity, of excitement, of like really figuring out who I am. Really, like now I'm reconnected with who I was meant to be the entire time. What is it? I think every artist has a quote about it. I know Miles Davis's is like, takes a long time to sound like yourself. It's Parker. What's Parker's last name? Oh, I don't remember. I'll come back to it. But he's an author, and he has a quote. Yeah, it takes a really long time to become who you've always been. And that's what the last 7 years have been like. And I feel very grateful to be here. And so the week of going into giving this talk yesterday was my second to last rehearsal. And my shout out to Toby Gadsden, like the best coach. He's also an actor, producer, many things. Shout out. And I really loved that he's a theater background, because he's allowed me to really just like, set the stage with my talk. But I was sharing that where I was like, it's not that I've actually had trouble memorizing this, because it's 16 minutes long. And, I get on stage and talk for an hour without thinking, but this is very academic. It's much more academic than other things that I've delivered. So the memorization of it hasn't come as easily. And there's lots of things that I go back and I reference. And so you're kind of saying the same thing multiple times, right? And so it becomes a little bit more difficult to hold my place. And I said, what's interesting, Toby, is I don't think it's that I don't know it. I know that my brain knows it. It's that I keep toggling back and forth between those energies of, is this good enough versus like expert energy? And I am going to share this very brief story that he shared with me, because it has been so impactful for me. So he's an actor in his own right. He has a wonderful resume. Go look him up on IMDb. And he said that he was having an interaction with Eddie Murphy, which was like his king. And he was getting really overwhelmed and like, oh my God, again, I can't believe I'm here. I'm in the room. And his girlfriend's father at the time, who was like a big wrestler, I think his name was like the Burma Bull or something, and looked him dead in the eye. And I'm doing the same voice that he did. So that's what this voice is. And he goes, Toby. And he was like, it is not enough to look it in the eye. You have to look it in the eye and then place it at your feet, because it is below you. And the idea of looking at fear like that, or these things that like we put on high, right? We put these things on a pedestal. We put these opportunities, these people, these things. Once I have blank, then I will. And for most of us, it's like, what would it be like to just look it in the eye? Like, let's just start there. What would that look like? What would that feel like? And then to get comfortable enough to just bring it down to your feet. And not because you truly are above it, but it's like, you can walk on that. You can walk on that. You can walk on that all day long. I say that all the time on this podcast, that people come to me when they're struggling or that they're, looking for something, seeking something. And I say, why you, why me? It's the first question I ask everybody. And 9 times out of 10, they answer their own question. They know exactly what they want. And then our job is just to figure out how to strategize and kind of pull that back down to your feet. And I'm just really excited, and I feel really excited now to be in this place of excitement, because I was accepted into this in January. And also in my mind, I didn't know that it's like this long, where you're like teamed up with a coach and you have like all of the, like there was deadlines and all sorts of things, which already living a very full, busy life, I was like, oh my gosh, another thing. But the beauty of that has literally been that it has been the process. And each step of the process, as we've gotten closer, that catharsis has gotten deeper, it's gotten more real, and it's actually begun to shift me over time. And so now I'm at the place that knowing I have my final tech rehearsal tomorrow. On Friday, we rest. And on Saturday, she's a go. Makeup and hair shows up at 6:45 a.m., baby. We got to go. It's time to go. I'm also still shocked that they're coming at 6:45 in the morning, but that's a story for a different day. So what are you ready to accept? What are you ready to lay at your feet? And how can we do that? That's what this summer is about. This summer is about playing with that energy, getting comfortable in it, because that's what I've decided, where it's like, I was still scared, like, oh my God, is this okay? Is it okay to be just like confident and capable? Are you guys cool with this? It's like, it's not enough to know it. It's like, it's gotta be playful. It's gotta be fun. None of us are getting out of here alive. You know, can you have a little fun? That's what all of this is about, because also where that place of fun is, that's where the magnetism is. That's where that magic is. Coming back, literally, here's a full circle moment, right? Oh, does she do it? Okay. I'm so excited for you guys to hear my TEDx talk. I am so excited for Saturday on the day that I ride. So I will leave you with this. I don't want to give you too much about it, because we're going to be, I want you guys to be able to see it. I will also be talking about it, I was going to say postpartum, after I've pushed this baby out on the other side, what I learned from the other side. This is called the lightning method, move from stuck to unstoppable. And what I've done is I've developed, this is 4 practical steps that highlight the space between where you are in your life and where you want to be, to increase your awareness that your choices alone are the only thing that lead to closing that gap, right? Our entire reality consists of 2 things: our beliefs and our choices. So what we believe about ourselves, others, and the world around us indicate what are the choices that we're going to make, because we can make any choice we want, right? And so how the duality of those 2 things, it's not about like, oh, I had enough money to do this, or oh, I finally had enough time to do this, or oh, like all of these outside things that we believe are indicators. Of course, there are some where it makes it, harder or easier. We all have different adversities and setbacks and privileges, of course. Within those, the choices that we have to make, the choices that are there at our feet, and we don't take them because we don't believe we're worthy. We don't believe that we're safe to be safe, for things to be calm, all of these different things. So I walk through all 4 of those steps and how they connect at the very end to what I call your lightning bolt or your lightning moment. And it's so interesting because it's like, yeah, of course, that's where I am at this place of graduation. And I'm really, really excited to be coming to this space once a week and sharing anecdotes from my life of things that are actually going on with me, because I find it helpful. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry online is like, here's what you should do to change your life. Here's what I did to change my life. Here's how I started waking up at 5 a.m. Here's where I started going to bed at 5 a.m. Like, everybody's got a fucking answer, and everybody has your answers. I don't have your answers, but I do have what's worked for me. And I do know that collectively, we're all experiencing similar things, and that the most universal truths are hidden in the specificities of our lives. And it is my job, as I grow and evolve and have more opportunity, to come to this space and share with all of you who are growing and evolving and creating more opportunities, to share what it is that I'm learning, what is working, and making them tools that you can take, practical action that you can take to continue to build a life you desire. Sound good? All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to jump off here and I'm going to keep memorizing my lines out loud. I've been doing it in my cul-de-sac. I'm pretty sure everyone in my neighborhood thinks I've lost it. I'm just in there throwing my hands up in the air, I look very interesting. I'm so excited for you. Please take some time, journal some of these things. They are so valuable. They are so important. I am so excited for the summer. I'll be doing a little bit of a summer series. We're going to kind of be bouncing around, just really getting our sea legs here for the new version. This is Healing is Hilarious. I've been Rachel LaForce. You have been fantastic. Tune out, tune in. Love you, mean it. Well, I don't know about you, but I sure as hell feel better. Thank you so much for tuning in to Healing is Hilarious. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your support helps me reach more listeners on their healing journeys. Ready to dive deeper? Check out my TEDx Talk on YouTube. Just search Rachel LaForce TEDx for more insights and laughs. Until next time, tune out, tune in. Love you, mean it.